United just lost Fernandez, and I think you already know it, but here's why that might be fine. I told you yesterday, I sat right here and told you United could walk away from the Mateus Fernandes deal. A few hours later, Romano confirms that Tottenham won the race to sign him as their player. £85 million, paid in full, up front, no add-ons, no negotiations, just done. And United? They refuse to match it. Now, before you explode in the comments, stay with me, because this story is not what it looks like on the surface. And by the end of this video, you might actually change your mind about what just happened. Because while Fernandez was landing at Spurs, Fabrizio Romano dropped 2 more bombshells about players already at Old Trafford that nobody's talking about enough. Let's get into it. Let's start with the Fernandez situation, because the full picture here is more complicated than the headlines suggest. Here's exactly what happened behind the scenes. United were in this race, real contact, ongoing talks with the player's agent and West Ham directly. This wasn't casual interest. United were genuinely pursuing this deal for weeks. But when it came to the final moment, the moment that decides every transfer, United blinked. West Ham wanted £85 million, guaranteed, every single penny up front. No conditions, no performance bonuses making up the difference. United's offer? 70 million guaranteed, with 15 million in add-ons to reach that total. Tottenham walked in, wrote the check, 85 million, fixed, done. And just like that, a deal United had been building toward for weeks was gone in hours. But here's the question nobody's actually asking right now. Should United fans even be angry about this? Let me give you some numbers. And I want you to be honest with yourself as I read these out. 75 million for Jadon Sancho, 100 million euros for Anthony, 80 million for Harry Maguire, 87 million for Paul Pogba, 79 million for Rasmus Højlund, 75 million for Romelu Lukaku, 59 million for Angel Di Maria, 55 million for Mason Mount. How many of those actually lived up to those fees? Be honest, really honest. Because that's the pattern United are actively trying to break right now. Not because they're broke, not because INEOS doesn't care about winning, but because they've watched this club hemorrhage money on overpriced players for over a decade, and they've decided enough is enough. United offered wages close to £170,000 a week for Fernandez too. That wasn't small, that was a serious, structured proposal. But they refused to pay 85 million up front for a 21-year-old with one standout Premier League season. And honestly, that's not weakness, that's discipline. People will laugh at United for this, already are in fact, trending on social media. United can't afford players. United are a selling club now. But look at what Arsenal have done over the last 4 years. Patient, structured, refusing to overpay just because a rival waves more cash. And now they're Premier League champions. United are not Manchester City. They are not PSG. Arab money doesn't exist at Old Trafford, and pretending otherwise just leads to more Antony-sized disasters. This hurts right now. Missing out always hurts. But setting a standard in this transfer market, making clubs think twice before trying to squeeze every last penny out of United, that is worth something. That is how you build a sustainable football club. So no, I'm not angry about Fernandez, not even slightly. But here's the thing, missing Fernandez doesn't mean United stop, it means they pivot. And who they pivot to next is where this video gets really interesting. Because even before the Fernandez door fully closed, a former United legend stepped forward with a very specific recommendation. Teddy Sheringham. He says Adam Wharton should be United's top priority right now, after missing out on Elliot Anderson, after missing out on Fernandez. Sheringham is pointing directly at Crystal Palace's holding midfielder and saying that is the signing that transforms this team. His reasoning? Precise and specific. United needs someone who can camp in the opposition's half, win the ball high, keep possession, recycle play in the final third. Find the pass that keeps pressure on the opponent rather than letting them breathe. And then Sheringham added the detail that makes this timing genuinely interesting. Wharton missed out on the World Cup squad. Sound familiar? That's the exact same situation United used to push their interest in Lewis Hall. A talented player, a painful international snub, a hunger to prove himself on the biggest stage possible. Wharton has been central to Crystal Palace's rise. FA Cup winners in 2025, Europa Conference League champions in May. The man knows how to win trophies. He knows what a winning dressing room feels like. And now Sheringham, a man who wore that United shirt and knows what it demands, is saying, go and get him while the moment is right. Is Wharton the answer after Fernandez? Is he the midfielder who unlocks everything else Carrick wants to do next season? Keep that question open, because the next update changes the context around it completely. Now let's talk about Aurélien Tchouaméni, because Romano didn't just report on Fernandez this week. He also addressed the France international directly, and what he revealed tells you everything about United's midfield ambitions beyond the deals currently on the table. United class Tchouameni as a dream signing. Not a target, not someone they're monitoring, a dream signing. Those are the words being used internally at the club. They love the player. They want the player. They are planning to sign at least one more midfielder after Ederson, and Tchouameni is clearly the name that makes the pulse race inside Carrington. But then, reality check. The overall deal is too expensive right now. Transfer fee plus salary combined, it simply doesn't add up at the current figures being discussed. The only realistic path forward, according to Romano, would involve negotiating a significantly lower salary package for the player. And that negotiation? Not currently happening. So United reassess, they stay patient, they keep Tchouameni on the dream board while they work through more realistic options in the immediate window. But here's the detail that matters most. United have already confirmed, publicly through their actions, that Ederson is the first midfield signing. They want at least one more alongside him. That gap still exists, and someone will fill it before this window closes. Tchouameni is the dream, Wharton is the recommendation, Metcha and Scott are the realistic battles being fought right now. The question is, which one actually ends up in a United shirt by August? Now let's get to the news that every United fan needed to hear today, regardless of everything else in this video. Amad Diallo. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it officially. Manchester United have decided Amad is not for sale. Full stop. Not negotiable. Despite approaches coming in, despite interest from multiple clubs, despite whatever bids might arrive through the summer, Amad stays. And look, after the season he just had at Old Trafford, this should not be a surprise. But hearing Romano confirm it officially, that lands differently. Carrick has decided this player is key to what he's building. Not a squad option, not rotation cover, a key player. And then Romano added the question that sparked a genuine debate online. How much is Amad actually worth right now? After that kind of season, at his age, with his trajectory, you're already hearing figures thrown around that would have seemed completely unthinkable 2 years ago. Whatever number you put on him, United don't care. He's not going anywhere. And while that door is firmly closed on Amad, another door has quietly opened elsewhere in the attack. Crysencio Summerville. The Netherlands international has emerged as a Manchester United target. Sky Sports understand he is firmly on their radar right now. Now, United are clear that midfield remains the priority. That hasn't changed. But here's the conditional that makes this story significant. If Marcus Rashford leaves, and that situation is still very much unresolved, United are ready to move for a left-sided forward, and Summerville is one of the names they've landed on. Think about the logic here. Rashford out, Summerville in, left side of the attack refreshed with someone younger, hungrier, and on an upward curve rather than a declining one. But it only happens if Rashford goes. which means the Rashford situation, still in that pre-season trust rebuilding phase we told you about after Romano's last update, still holds the key to multiple other decisions this summer. One player's future, multiple consequences. That's how interconnected this window has become for United. So let's bring this all together. Fernandez, gone to Spurs. United refused to blink on the fee. And honestly, given this club's history of overpaying, that discipline deserves more credit than it's getting right now. Tchouameni, the dream, the name that makes INEOS genuinely excited. But the price is too high today. United will reassess. File that one under watch this space. Wharton, Sheringham's urgent recommendation. A player with trophies, with hunger, with a point to prove after a World Cup snub. The kind of signing that could quietly solve exactly what United need in midfield. Ahmad, officially not for sale, locked in. Key player under Carrick, end of discussion. And Summerville, emerging as a left-wing option, but only if Rashford's exit is confirmed first. This window is not collapsing. It's being built carefully, patiently, and with a clear financial philosophy that this club has needed for years. Miss a deal here, win the next 3. That's the standard United are trying to set. And if they get that right, if this summer ends with the right players in the right roles, missing out on Fernandez might just be a footnote nobody remembers. Trust the process, or don't. But the process is there. And for the first time in a long time, it actually looks like someone is running it properly. So what do you think? Did United make the right call refusing to match Spurs on Fernandez? Is Wharton the answer in midfield right now? And how much is Ahmad actually worth? Drop your number below. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Manchester United updates here on RedBreak. I'll see you in the next one.